Hello! I'm so glad to finally be back with you all. Today we're going to be talking about the Gupta Empire. So we studied the Mauryans before we had our break. And the Mauryans are going to be the first major empire of India. The Gupta we're going to see are going to take India to its golden age. So, after the Mauryan Empire ends, India is fragmented, meaning it's divided up. There is no central power ruling. Now we have the Rajas, our warrior princes. They are going and controlling principalities. Now let's think about this. If a kingdom is ruled by a king, an empire is ruled by an emperor, a principality is a place ruled by a prince. Now, the vast majority of people lived in small villages, not big cities, nothing like that. They're going to be just regular small villages where people are doing subsistence farming for the most part. Now, as we discussed with Ashoka, Buddhism becomes very popular. Let's think about this. Why is Buddhism going to be popular? How did the caste system treat most people? Unfairly. So, Buddhism appealed to the people that were mistreated, the lower castes. Obviously, our untouchables, the pariah, our Sudras, which were the servants, our Vaishyas. Kshatriya and Brahmin, probably not so much because they're at the top, although some did convert. Now, despite people converting to Buddhism, people didn't just forget the caste system. Think about it. If you're a Kshatriya, you're not going to want that Sudra trying to exercise equality with you. So therefore, the castes weren't forgotten, even though many people had converted to Buddhism. Now, our Gupta Empire is going to start with a man named Chandragupta I. I know our Mauryan Empire started with a Chandragupta, so just remember, Mauryan is Chandragupta Maurya. Gupta is Chandragupta I. Now, he starts going and conquering many of the principalities of northern India. And is going to rule for 15 years, and because when you want to show off that you are superior to the princes around you, you give yourself a title, King of Kings. We've seen this before with our Persian Empire, the Shah-un-Shah. It's the same idea, King of Kings. Now, he goes and sees Buddhism as a threat. Think about it. If everyone's equal, if you're not supposed to want anything, it kind of goes against the idea of being a powerful king, controlling lots of land, having people serve you. Therefore, he makes Hinduism the official religion of India. He tries to undo what Ashoka did. Now, we see that Chandragupta I. See, even sometimes I mix up. He was probably a pretty good administrator. He divides his empire up into provinces, which is something that we see most of our great rulers do. They need the organization so that they don't have to have everything in control themselves. He's going to have local rulers take care of the local governance, and they just report to him. And of course, his local rulers pay tribute. We've talked about tribute before. Tribute is that money that you pay so that you don't go and get beaten up some more. His son is Chandragupta. Let's move that out of the way. There we go. Chandragupta. He is going to rule for a significantly longer time. Now, I just want you to take a look at this picture here. What is he sitting on? No, that's not a kitty cat. That's probably a ferocious mountain lion or something like that. You know, you can't fully tell, but this is a wild animal. And look at the look of peace on his face. What does that imply about a man if he's able to sit upon a ferocious kitty cat? That he's powerful. That he is not swayed by fear. He has complete and total control. Now, he much like his father, is going to launch wars of conquest, and he's going to conquer other northern principalities that didn't fall prior to his dad. And so therefore, he's going to make the Gupta Empire larger. Now, he is going to have a centralized government that is very strong, and there's going to be a nationalization, meaning control of by the state, aka the government, the king, going of all gold and silver, and even all of the land. So all of the gold coming in, it goes to Chandragupta. All the silver going in goes to Chandragupta. He then therefore has those turned into coins. He has his palaces decorated with it. But also, like I said, the land was all owned by Chandragupta. Now, what that meant was farmers, which almost everyone in India at this time, they went and had to pay rent to the government. Those are their taxes. We have similar today, even though I quote-unquote own my land, I have to pay taxes to Frederick County and the city of Frederick every year. So therefore, the Gupta Empire is going to be very, very wealthy from this. His son, Chandragupta II. He is also going to rule for a significant period of time, 40 years. And he is going to increase the Gupta trade. He is going to trade with the Eastern Roman Empire. He's going to trade with China. He's going to trade so much and make so much wealth. He's going to expand territory. Once again, we see all of northern India is going to be ruled by the Gupta Empire. And once again, we're going to see the caste system is going to stay in place. This caste system was important for the political rule of India. You can't have an empire if everyone is equal. You have to have the social stratification. You have to have the haves and the have-nots. You have to have a reason for people to obey. And let's face it, your karma, going and saying, well, if you don't do exactly what you're supposed to do, or you'll have bad karma because you didn't follow your dharma, and then therefore be reincarnated lower into the caste system, it was a way to keep social order. Now, you've probably noted the different coins that I have showed here. This is really some of the only artwork we have, and this is how the rulers had the idea of what their rulers look like. They're not as good as our coins with appearances, but this was Chandragupta II. You know, think about how we see a quarter and how we know what good old George Washington looks like. Kinda, sorta. Under Chandragupta II, we see that India had very few rights for women at this time, which is a real shame, obviously, but going to be very common through history in India, unfortunately. Here we see just the different expansions that we have. We see Chandragupta's fledgling empire in the Ganges River. We see how Chandragupta added so much territory, and then a little bit of territory added by Chandragupta II. And here we just see what we have going on with trade. Once again, we see that the Eastern Roman Empire is trading with our Gupta Empire. We see the Sassanid Empire, that's going to be our next Persian Empire. They're going to be doing lots of trade. We see the trade routes coming from the Silk Road, going from China. This is going to be a very, very prosperous time. So let's look at this. Southeast Asia, things like spices, they're going to come. They're going to go to India. Now, India is going to have more spices. That's going to wind up going further west to Europe. Once the Romans taste the spices from Asia, they don't want to go back. Because think about it. Imagine if your family, when they cooked, they never used any spices. Everything would taste bland. Now, things have flavor. Africa is going to be part of this trade as well. From Africa, primarily the items are going to be gold and ivory. Ivory from elephant tusk. Unfortunately, there was a lot of poaching and a lot of elephants were killed just to get their tusks. These are going to go into India, and they're going to wind up also getting spread to Southeast Asia for a lot of those spices. India is going to have cotton. It's going to be one of the only places in the world that has cotton for a long time. Cotton will eventually be cultivated in the Americas, but at this time, India is where it is at. So cotton is going to be a very valuable product. Think about it. If most of your clothes are wool, we know this wool, it's warm, it's itchy, it's no good. Another thing that's going to wind up going out of India is going to be food, rice and wheat. It's going to go to places like Arabia, where there's not going to be as much farmland, and that's going to be a very important thing for them to trade for, because Arabia has something India wants: horses. Horses give them military power, it gives them transportation, and they weren't native. So we have all of these items going for trade. We see just the different coins here. We've got an Indian coin there from the Gupta period. The Chinese have their coins. We notice they have the hole in there because you can carry it on a string. And of course we have a Roman coin as well. So that's going to be our lesson for today, our introduction to the Gupta Empire. Next time we are going to go look at some Indian achievements and the fall of the Gupta Empire. Hope you're all doing well. I miss you guys. Have a good one.